Morning, Tuesday, 28th of May. Just had bank holiday. Bank holiday was alright. Saturday was very nice. Sunday rain. Monday, okay, turned out nice. However, it's raining. So today was supposed to be... I've basically got 3 lawn care jobs left over for the springtime. I showed you one of them, and basically 2 of them being too wet, and 1 of them they've had building work. I showed you the building work one last week where it's had a lot of red threads come in because we are getting the decent temperatures now, and the mix of the rain. That's a great combination for red thread. So we're getting the red thread come in, so that lawn needs a treatment, but equally there's some areas which need repair work from the building work, so that was booked in for today. However, once again, I'm saying it, I'm gonna go and do the cutting and the stuff for the properties where I can just go and do them. So I'll do that, and then I'll postpone the lawn care for tomorrow. I also had another lawn care job, which isn't necessarily a client as such, but it features heavily in a lot of the videos I've done over the years, so you might recognise that one. So I'll move them onto tomorrow, and then I've got another one which is just a little bit red thready, I think. I've only seen it in a photo, and it wasn't a close-up photo, so I'm kind of guessing a bit. So that's one which needs treating as well. So we'll probably do all those tomorrow. It's just a bit of a pain because you have to change all your plans at the very last minute, but it's good that I'm able to be that flexible that I can do that some days. So today we just need the time master. I've got the strimmer on board already because I mowed and trimmed my own lawn, if you can believe that. And yeah, so and then also I've done the back lawn at my house. I'll include the footage for that now, I think, just to show you how we kind of got up to speed on that. That's what I did Saturday evening up until 10:30 at night, actually. Okay, so it's Saturday 25th of May, and the plan is to get this lawn ready for play on Saturday the 22nd of June. So this is it, cut right down, holes punched, scarified multiple times, etc, etc. So what we're going to do now is add soil to level the low parts, and then seed it, fertilise it, top dress it, and then cover it, and then water. So I'll keep you posted on the progress. Fortunately we've got lights in the garden, so I was able to finish off in the dark. We've just got a little area. In the last 2 weeks this fern has really shot up. So what we're going to do is just pull them out. What I would recommend is, like, if you cut them off, they'll just grow straight back. So what I'd recommend definitely is using gloves. My gloves are in the van, so I can't bother to go and get them. Don't just pull it. You need to grip it tight to make sure your hands don't slip. Otherwise, you could potentially cut your hands or something. Anyways, there we go. And this is the easiest way just to pull them out. And actually, pulling ferns out in little areas here and there, it's amazing what a difference it can make to an area. And there we go, it's quickly as that, and it's all clear. So there's a few sort of little branches down and stuff, but I'll pick that all up. But this is just kind of a dead area behind the shed, so it normally sits quite wet actually. So I've just made this little channel around. You can see all the grass that all needs to be blown away as well and stuff like that. So at the minute I'm just going around, it's all long grass, so I'm just going around just anywhere I can't get the mower, trimming it, and yeah, just tidying the area up. What is interesting is and this is in the last 2 weeks. I mean, this has gone crazy, but there is two bamboo bushes which sit either side of this summer house, and this is 2 weeks worth of growth. I'll show you. So you can see you've obviously got the 2 main bits. I trim them up, like give them a good trimming up once a year, maybe a little tidy up during the winter perhaps, but yeah, about June time I'll trim those up. But crikey, I don't know where all of these have come from. So yeah, we'll cut those down or pull them out if we can, and then just to make a difference, and then when I do the rest of the hedges, I will get them tidied up as well. Crazy, the temperatures and the wet weather, it's making everything go crazy. And the key with all these shoots is to get them sooner rather than later. If you, while they're young wood, if you see this is hardwood, and you know what bamboos are like, you know, that's tough. This one here, you know, look at it, it's, I don't know, twice the size or more. It's hollow, it's really like just a young shoot. So, and that one there, massive in comparison. But even down here where it is a little bit more established, it's a bit tougher, but you can just tear those down, so that makes a massive difference. So get them sooner rather than later, to make your life easier, that is. Well, here's a scene that we've seen many times already this season. I've got most of it cut, to be fair, there's just a little bit. I've got plenty of time on my hands, so just using the opportunity to do a bit of paperwork, etc, etc. Which sometimes actually you need a rain day just to get on top of stuff. So and particularly with the bank holiday weekend, had a lot of inquiries just before the weekend of people basically wanting emergency cuts before the weekend. And I mean, I always welcome people to inquire, but the reality is you're never gonna there's a 99% chance you won't get a cut with a couple of days notice. And even some regular fortnightly clients who contacted me over the weekend saying, could I do an extra cut this week? And I'm like, it's now Tuesday morning. And I'm like, well, where, how? It's impossible. We've obviously got 4 days rather than the 5 days. Bad weather today, and you know, if you want extra cuts, you've got to be pretty organised about it. I'll always try and help, but I can't pull extra hours out of thin air to get this extra work done. So so yeah, I've had to send a lot of emails saying no to people, etc, etc, and people contacting me on Saturday asking if I could cut the same day. And interestingly, I've seen on social media, on Facebook, the amount of people who are crying out for a gardener, but they need the gardener or the lawn, someone to cut their lawn. They need it to be done in the next couple of days. And I'm just like, well, what's going on with people? How do you get to that state of needing an emergency cut? It's madness. But you know, this is the problem. Some people don't look out the window until they need to. Okay, so all I've done is just take all these shoots out, and that's the difference. Obviously, it needs shaping, and I'm not doing the actual hedges as such now. I just use a hedge cutter for those, but it looks a lot more tidy. So I just need to tidy up and then just trim. There's some really young growth coming up through there, so I just need to do that now. And yeah, makes it a lot better, doesn't it? Okay, so it's Wednesday. We're at a property we were at last week for the fortnightly cuts. So we have the extension area. So this is all damaged. This was where all the built bricks and whatever else was stored. There's still just rubble, so I'm going to have to try and clear a bit of that away. But basically this area here is the area that we're going to seed, top dress seed. I've got the Canon LS2042 with the renovation cartridge on, so that will be for this. Down there's a big bit of brick there or something, so we'll get that out. And then we've got the main lawn, which was kind of untouched. We don't want to go too dramatic because the patio and everything will be redone. So basically, if you can remember last week, this lawn was covered in red thread, as it still is. And as we look down, there's still a little bit of activity. If you can see the pink bit, you can kind of see. I can't focus, but so it's still a bit active. So, oh, here we go. Here's a great bit of activity. There you go. That pink bit there. So the pink stuff's the active red thread. The yellow stuff is sort of the damage that it's done. So sorry, I was rudely interrupted by the client's mother-in-law. So yeah, so what we need to do is, because we have active red thread, we need to do two things. We need to put one product down to dehydrate the red thread and stop it in its tracks, and then we need another product to go down to aid the recovery, so basically to grow out all of this this kind of fatty yellow stuff, which is the damage caused by it. So okay, so we've moved on to the second lawn, and this is a lawn that, as I said to you yesterday, I think it was, that you may recognise, and this is the one I use for a lot of videos in the past. And it's one that, it's my fault really. It's I haven't done too much here, and it's got a little bit away from me. So I've just took the verticusser over it, and as you can see, lots and lots of scraggly bits, and also lots and lots of weeds have come in as well. Where we're looking, obviously all around the edges, as you'd expect. Also a lot of bird food comes in here, so a lot of weed grass comes because of the bird feed, gets scattered everywhere, and essentially bird feed is grass seed. So yeah, so all I'm doing today is a light scarify, and then I'm going to put just a little bit of iron down just to give it a good colour, just sort of hit that little bit of moss that's in there, a little bit of selected weed killer, and then also a little bit of a liquid fertiliser just to perk it up a little bit. Nothing too much on this lawn, yeah, it's as I say, quite a bit's come out actually, bearing in mind I'm just scarifying, sorry, I'm just vertical. So I've got this pile here, so I've just pulled the rake through it. Kind of, you can see exactly what's coming out there, so there is a bit of moss in there as well. So two piles, and yeah, I'll show the progress in a couple of weeks. And also this oak tree doesn't help at all. It drops so much twigs of rubbish. Oh no, that's a bird coming out. I thought that was going to be a perfect example of a branch falling down, but lots and lots. It's got a TPO on it, so they're quite limited to what they can do with it, but it causes big problems in this garden. Okay, so you'll have noticed in the last few videos, last couple of months actually, I've been using a combination of the Ego backpack blower and the Stihl handheld blower. Now what I've got is a little bit of fuel left in here, and I don't need this tool now. I don't need this backpack blower until we get into scarifying season. So sort of depending on the weather, August time, I suppose, end of August after the final bank holiday is generally when I start my scarifying. And then obviously then that moves into the autumn clearance and stuff like that. So that's when this will be really earning its money. But between now and then, I don't really need it. So what we're going to do is, it's got a bit of fuel in it, and we've got a little bit of fuel in here. So what I want to do is just get this out, and I'm now going to use this over the next day or two, just basically to use all that fuel up, because this fuel is going to go stale. I don't want fuel sitting in this machine now for the next couple of months, so we'll use it all up, and then I can put this away and know that in theory it should start when I want it to. Also, what I'll probably do is, before I put it completely away, is just clean the air filter out, clean up the spark plug. If there's no issues with it, it's running absolutely fine, but just do a few things like that just to make sure that when I grab it come end of August, it's going to fire up first time, and we're good then. And then this will, as I say, this will earn its money all the way through to the new year. And then actually, as we come out of the new year and those kind of first cuts of the season, which sounds mad talking about them at, as we go into summer, already thinking about next year, this will obviously be doing autumn cleanups all through the autumn, winter, first couple of cuts of the year in sort of February, March time, and then it will go straight back into the scarifying season. So actually, it has a nice summer holiday. So yeah, that's all the fuel gone from there.
means I don't need to carry this around with me now until August. And yeah, well, I'll keep going. And then I've obviously got a battery blower with me, so when I do run out of fuel, and I can then just go and get the battery blower and then carry on. So it's not like I'm going to run out of fuel and be done and have no blower. So yeah, and actually, to be honest, even the backpack ego blower for the work that I'm doing now, really all I'm doing with the blower is just blowing the clippings from the strimming, which has gone onto driveways, pathways, back onto the lawn to be sucked up from the mower. So there's no real need for the backpack blower right now either. The handheld is more than sufficient. Obviously, with the treatments as well, when you're fertilizing and the fertilizer goes onto a patio, you need to have that blower with you to blow to get it off the patio. And a battery, a handheld battery, is more than adequate for that.
I'm at the usual Thursday afternoon property, and the client has asked me to basically cut down all this long grass here and basically around the perimeter of the vegetable patch, I suppose. So yeah, we're going to do this. This is just going to be trimmed with the KMA 135R Stihl strimmer, so nothing too fancy. Battery, let's give it a go. Okay, so as I said, I think a few weeks ago, the John Deere mower just couldn't keep up with the weekly growth or the fortnightly growth of this paddock, and the same one over there. So yeah, so we've let it grow, and it's a fantastic little meadow now, actually. So all I do now is I literally just do that path through, and then we'll sort this out, I don't know, at some point at the end of the season, I guess. Cut it all down, probably get the old Trackmaster flail, I suspect, something along those lines. Okay, so it's Friday morning. It's very windy. Yesterday was just torrential rain, like 5 minutes of ridiculously heavy showers, followed by a sort of bit drizzle, then a bit of nothing, and then heavy rain again, and it was just went on and on and on. Fortunately got it all done, so that's fine. I've got 2 quotes today. Now it's probably really windy, isn't it? I know you probably can't hear me, but yeah, 2 quotes today. Both are very close to other jobs that I have, so although I'm pretty much at capacity, I'm going to go and have a look, and I've made it very clear that I'm very full, and there's a chance whether I can do it or not, I'm not sure. So we shall see. But yeah, it's so in correspondence I've made it very clear that we are pretty full. So I don't know whether I'll be able to do the work, but I'll definitely come and have a look and see if I can squeeze it in. So there is every chance that I'll just have to turn around and say no, there's no chance, but because both are close to other properties, it seems a waste to not at least go and have a look. I think I've mentioned this, the tube for collection was, before I even got this, was broken, and it got damaged, and so anyway, we've done a running repair. The idea is, not only was it so it was damaged, so it wasn't particularly collecting very well, but also the plastic was hanging down and it was dragging on the grass, so tearing it. So what we've got here is this nice little metal plate, which we're hopefully it will mean it will bag better and not catch. So if we just put it on the lowest setting there. I mean, obviously, yes, it is off the ground, but you know, it doesn't take much, does it, for a tufted bit of grass or something to get it caught. So hopefully that'll be a nice, decent repair. Okay, so this is what's come off. You can see the short grass over there. Okay, so here's an area that I did in the winter. Basically, this hedge looks all wild. There's still a little bit over there, and in the let me take my finger away. Yeah, you can just see it there. So basically this section there got absolutely just destroyed in the drought of, was it 2 years ago now? I can't remember. And then what we had was conifer, which just was slow. I think it was a conifer, Leylandii, whatever. I'm the lawn guy, right? And it was just slowly dying. From before I think it was sort of from about 2018, that drought, it just started slowly dying, and I think he'd had a few people come and look at it, and I don't know, it served its purpose, I suppose. I'll put, if I've got them, I'll try and put some photos in now. Of what it looked like, and it was sort of time to get rid of it. So you can kind of see how big it came out, and there was a massive gap, so I cut it down. The stump's still there, but the client doesn't care too much. But I think once the hedge, so this hedge needs to be cut down either side once they're trimmed in. This hedge also was sort of down here, but he wanted it grown up for a bit more privacy. So what I'm going to probably do is whatever the height of my long-handled hedge trimmer, so as you see about there, that's kind of where I'm going to cut it to probably, and then we'll bring that, yeah, all the way along, so it's sort of a good foot off the top all the way along to that hedge there, and then put it all in, and then obviously let these grow up as well, and they'll fill out. And actually by the time they filled out, you're probably not going to see the stump too much in there anyway. I mean, yes, could have stump ground it out, but the client wasn't too bothered, so we just went with that. So yeah, so here there's an area, so I'm just going to chuck some seed in there. It's a bit weedy, but to be honest, this is part of the meadow, so it doesn't matter too much. So yeah, I'm just going to chuck some seed. So weirdly, this area has just got loads and loads and loads of stones. It's called Stony Fields. So I mean, I could rake there all day and I'd still be pulling them out. So I'm just getting the worst off, which are, you know, potentially going to damage the mower when I mow over and stuff like that, even though this section will be done at a higher height. But yeah, so that's what we're doing at the moment. It has been raining actually. It wasn't forecast, but it's stopped now, so we shall carry on. Okay, so you remember this one last week, I said I'd speak to the client and start the treatments process. However, judging by the leaves, looking like autumn, it is far too windy to be spraying anything today, so we shall postpone it till another week. It does look good when you drive past, doesn't it?